Hello, hello. Welcome to Spilling with Lee. Happy Monday. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. And I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee and spill some drama with you. We had a interesting episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta on Sunday. This is still season 16, I believe it was episode 8. I need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's episode 8. And we're going to go ahead and dig in. They are in Nashville and having a great time. It kicks off with a little shindig song that Shamia wrote about the girls and the trip in Nashville. So that was really interesting to see. So Britt calls her husband. And, again, weird vibes, but better than other times. So I'm seeing a little bit of a connection there. I will say this episode, I liked Britt a little bit more than I had in the past. So possibly, Britt is going to warm up for me. But I honestly, I kind of doubt it. But I wasn't as annoyed with her in this episode as I'd been in some others. So Britt calls her husband and she's talking about Angela. And I just don't understand what the beef is with Angela. Angela asked you a simple question at the brunch. And honestly, I think she was asking again, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, purely out of, girl, I'm in the same industry. Why would anybody do that to you? Can I help you? Are you sure? It just didn't make sense. So I don't think she was specifically going after Britt. But later in the episode, Britt explains a little bit more about why she was on guard. She came into the brunch really hoping to get, I think, support, some sympathy, some love around her. And she felt like she was approached or met with some skepticism, not as much support. Oh, it's even type energy. So that explains a little bit more of maybe why she took what Angela said so personally. But anyway, I'm like, Angela, Britt, let's get over this. Let's move on. So anyway, so then we also see Shamia. It was a very, very touching scene. Shamia, her daughter Shiloh is sick, and Gerald, her husband, who seems like an amazing guy, is taking care of the girls. And at the doctor's office, it sounds like Shiloh has an ear infection. But as a mom, ear infections are the worst because they're so painful. And honestly, you don't even realize sometimes it's an ear infection until later. You just think they're tired or irritable, or they're sick. And ear infections, as we know, are so painful. So to think about your child having this pain for days and you probably didn't even know. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But we see, I could understand why Shamia was so upset hearing about her daughter having the ear infection and crying, and then watching Gerald, again, her amazing husband, kind of balancing it all. But she also underscores this by talking about why she really, really wants to give her husband a son. He's an amazing dad. He really wants a son, and it's just her heart's desire to see if this could happen. But honestly, health first, because your kids need a healthy mother, and you want to make sure that you can handle it emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of the things. So we see Shamia upset about that. We also see Cynthia and Angela having a conversation about being a victim. And honestly, I felt it was so funny later on. Angela was like, I still don't understand how I'm pretending to be a victim. Anyway, they have this long conversation. You think there's this breakthrough that happens with Angela understanding the whole situation, and come to find out she didn't. So very interesting. But one of the things I find confusing with Angela is where did all this loyalty come for Drew? Like, I don't even think Drew and Angela are that good of friends. And I think in a later episode, you could even kind of see where Drew is like, girl, you brought this on. I didn't ask you to advocate for me like this. So why is Angela being such a big advocate for Drew? And where's all this loyalty coming from? So that was my big question. And just watching her go for Drew, wanting her to be here, waiting for her to come, all the things. Um, so that was really interesting. I will say again, so I like Angela and I want her to come back next season. And one of the reasons I want her to come back next season is because I love to see people the next season kind of pull their look together, be a little bit more classy and seamless and take it up another notch, right? And I feel like Angela has potential to do that, but right now, as I mentioned in my last video, make sure you check it out. I think Angela is a mess. Like she's just on the verge of having it together but doesn't have it together. So I was looking at her wig. If you look closely, her wig is still not down right. Her pajamas are give like Amazon ordered it the night before, that kind of like fake satin. Her sunglasses, I mean, she can afford to have a good quality pair of sunglasses like Cynthia had on. Angela did not have good quality sunglasses on. And even as they were walking back in the house, she talked about her wig melting again. I think that's like the fourth time she's mentioned something about her wig or something melting on her since the season started. So I just need Angela, who's a beautiful woman, just to kind of like get it together. It's almost like she has a team because we saw her glam team. So I don't understand why she's kind of struggling to kind of pull herself together. So anyway, Drew finally arrives. Um, and again, she finds Angela. Angela's in the room with her glam team, and Angela's kind of giving her a very cryptic overview of where things stand. And Drew mentions, you brought this war on yourself. Again, Drew is like, I didn't ask for you to fight for me, to advocate for me. I'm not, and even with Drew at the end, we'll see her leaving. I think Drew was like, I didn't have to come. You're pushing this. I didn't ask you to fight for me. So Drew sees her room. She says that it puts her in mind of being in an orphanage because she has double beds. So anyway, but she takes it, she's lighthearted about it. She's only going to be there for a few hours, really. Then they're on the Sprinter van. They are on their way to go to two different events. One group is going to Coyote Ugly. Another group is going to a whiskey tasting. Shamia starts crying because she gets a text message about someone apologizing to her about not believing her about her previous experience with domestic violence with, I guess, her ex-husband. And I had completely forgotten that Shamia was one of the people on the PSA that Kenya did on domestic violence several years ago. Completely forgotten about that. So they did a clip of that and showed that. And that was like super powerful. And I mean, Shamia is like a great girl, a great girl. I'm going to come back to that. I love her. There are just some things that I wish she could clean up as well, but love her energy. And anyway, so she cried about that. And and everybody kind of gathered around her. And then I love the moment Shamia like looked over at Cynthia and said, Cynthia, how is your mom doing? Because, oh gosh, I just got chills. Because Shamia remembered Cynthia's mom was also in that PSA, but just that's the type of girl she is. She remembered the girl's mom was in it and stepped out of her own pain to ask about her. So I just thought that was so classy. I love that. I just think Shamia has a great heart. Um, so we also see after all of the during Coyote Ugly, during their different gatherings and events, um, Portia starts talking to the girls about Angela setting Drew up. She thinks that Angela is setting Drew up to be talked about and to be kind of the villain because she's like pushing for Drew to come, knowing that nobody want or Portia doesn't want Drew to be there. And then she kind of puts out in the atmosphere, if you all remember from the last episode, some drama and maybe some sexual things going on with Drew and Dennis. So Portia's thought is that all of this is being done by Angela actually to put Drew in a bad light and set her up. I could hear where Portia was going with it, but it just didn't land. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I think it is still mysterious on why Angela is going for Drew so hard, but her version of it, her theory just didn't really match. So I don't think that's it. Um, so back at the ranch, back at this beautiful home in Nashville, speaking of which, I live in Nashville. It's a beautiful city. So Cynthia is consoling Britt. Oh, no, this is actually at the whiskey tasting. The whiskey tasting, Britt is explaining again on why she was so put off by Angela. She's trying to tell Angela, this is the part where she's trying to tell Angela, listen, I came to this brunch. I was not in a good space. I was looking for something else, did not get it. And to hear you questioning my license and why I was in trouble, which, by the way, it was a lie. It was a lie. She did not lose her license, nor do I even think she got in any trouble. So, yes, 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 Angela was right. So, slow down on that. Enough of that. Enough of that, Angela. Not too much because you were lying about your license. You did not lose your license. So that was a lie. So anyway, she seems to overlook the whole point that Angela caught you in a lie. And that's why you were acting like that. So anyway, but confusing. I like Cynthia. Cynthia's always gonna be my girl. I wish she had a little bit more of a, I don't know, backbone sometimes, but she went over and consoled Britt, which kind of caught me off guard a little bit because this is still the girl who went after one of your best friends and the reason why one of your best friends is not on the show. So I would be cordial with her for sure because this is now your coworker, you're working with her, but I don't know about going over and rubbing her back and consoling her and defending her. Like that was a bit much. So so anyway, they go back to this beautiful home in Nashville and people start getting ready for dinner, taking a break, getting ready for dinner. So we see people come back downstairs into the main area for dinner. Everybody looks beautiful. Can I just talk about um, Kelly? I really, 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 really like Kelly. Like, that's my girl. Like, that's my favorite. And I love I know she's really short in real life. I'm short too. But I think she always just looks amazing. And so I loved her outfit. Portia's was very bland. I think Cynthia missed the mark because Cynthia has been missing the mark a little bit this season just in her looks, I think, and her wigs and things. Like something's off. She's not fitting in with the group well, in my opinion. And then but I thought Kelly looked great. Shamia. I love Shamia. Like I said, I think she's a girl's girl, all the things. I love her heart. Um, But with all the money that Shamia has, her style is off. And so it's almost like her stylist is older or something's off. Like they're not the same, they don't have the same vibe because her personality and what she wears is not matching. And so I'm looking at what she has on and I'm like, girl, you could do so much better. You have an amazing body. She keeps wearing this hat at everything they go to. I'm just like, I hate it. I hate it because she's like hitting every mark except she just like she can't get her style together. And sometimes she comes off as a little too energetic for the moment. And I want her to just kind of reel it in sometimes and kind of match the energy of the room. And not saying that you always have to fit in. So I'm not saying she has to fit in, but it's really important in life to just understand the energy of a room. And you could decide to still turn it up a little bit, but just being careful with that. So anyway, we see everyone looked beautiful though. And then we see Porsha's energy change, and we're like, uh-oh, what happened? So we find out that Porsha is mad because she got a phone call from someone and found out that Drew had been filming with Dennis. And she specifically had asked Dennis not to film with Drew, which I think is, hmm, I think it's fine for her to ask that, but to the way that she kind of positioned it was like it's either your family or filming with Drew. Like I thought that was a bit dramatic. Like you need to choose your family. And I'm like, choose your family just because he's working and filming and but I get it. I think what's happening is Porsha is in a place where she's feeling already betrayed. Remember, all these things are going on with Simon. She can't film in her own home. She's losing just security. And I think Dennis is a place of security for her. And to see him filming with someone else is hurtful and it feels like a betrayal. So I think that's where she's coming from. And she probably just doesn't have the words to put it together on why it's so hurtful for her. So anyway, so we see Porsha is angry. And then they're at the dinner table. Oh, here we go. So Angela, everybody keeps asking Porsha what's wrong. And honestly, I probably need to watch this scene again because it was so freaking confusing because I had no idea how Angela made the jump to start coming after Porsha about how the relationship started with her and Simon and her apparently stealing Simon from Phelan. Fallon, how Porsha cheated and stole somebody's man. So I am like, Angela, like, girl, stay focused. If you're going to cause drama and if you're going to stir all this up, you've got to pick your topic and pick your issue. So first you're advocating and fighting for Drew to be here, and that's your thing, right? And you're going up against the dragon and you're fighting for Drew and all the things. And Drew honestly doesn't even care. So if you're going to fight like that for somebody, you got to make sure they got your back and that they're going to care. And then all of a sudden, you kind of go after Porsha on her birthday, on her trip, asking about her sleeping with somebody's man, and tries to pull Kelly into it. Like, well, the question that Kelly asked weeks ago. And so it was like, I think what Angela is trying to do, she's trying to secure her spot for another season. She's trying to be that messy girl. She's trying to be in every scene, every episode, have a storyline, like all the things. She's just not doing it in a graceful way that makes sense. So people, uh, Sorry about that. So people, it's confusing. So it just got, I just actually I felt bad for Angela because I'm like, girl, you just can't, you don't know how to do it. You can't do it. So anyway, so that just kind of kept the thing spiraling. So then Drew decides to ask Portia, do you want me here? Um, are you okay? And Portia gives her nothing. Gives her nothing. You can do whatever you want to do. She wasn't feeling it. So Drew is like, okay, well, I'm leaving, which you should. You shouldn't have come. You should not have come. Um, this was Portia's birthday, everyone. There is going to be a group trip that comes up where everyone has to be there. This was not it. So Drew should not have come. And so Drew is trying to leave, and people were like, Drew, don't leave. What? Like, let that girl go. I love what Angela said. Angela said, girl, sit down and eat your chicken. But anyway, so so it was really interesting to see Drew trying to leave, which she should have, and I'm glad she was trying to. I hated to see everybody trying to save her and keep her there. So anyway, she should have left. And then we also saw Portia and Cynthia have a really nice moment together in the bedroom. I think Portia is really going through with the divorce and again, losing a lot of security, just not being in a good place. And Cynthia was there for her. And they've known each other for a long time. Can you remember the fight they had, physical fight that they had, and now full circle moment? I thought it was really sweet because whether you wanted the divorce, you didn't want the divorce, whatever, you have a child that knew this man, you had a home, you had things going on. Whether we like how she got there or not, it was her life. And then all of a sudden things turn. So, and from what I hear, her assets are frozen, but more on that. I'll figure that part out. So anyway, the girls decide to go in the backyard and have some fun and go swimming and drinking. Angela decides to go up to her room and get ready for bed because she has created this drama at dinner and which she should not have. And she says she's on the phone with her husband and she overhears her name and people talking about her and she tries to record it, which it doesn't sound like it recorded. So, um, but apparently says, I should have effed Charles, Angela's husband, in the midst of all the kikiing, laughing, and drunken talk. And so Angela gets super upset. According to Kelly in her confessional, Porsha said it. Porsha said she better leave me alone before I go F her husband or her man, which it is her man, but it is her husband. So Porsha, my girl, no. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. That is not some guy she is dating. That is her husband. So even if you're joking, if you're drunk or whatever, like it would never even occur to me to say something like that because it's nowhere in my spirit that I would try to sleep with somebody's husband on purpose. So the fact that she said that is like, that does not set well, that it will not set well. And anybody who is married and really values their marriage, like you just don't want a girl that feels that comfortable saying that they would try to sleep with somebody's husband. Apparently, Shamia also backed up some claims that Charles does sleep around or messes around with a lot of girls in Atlanta. Don't know. But I think it's just not cool to talk about someone's marriage with a bunch of women and they're in the next room, they're upstairs. So, not cool at all. Did not like that. So, we'll see how this unpacks next week, next episode. So, what do you all think? What did you think of this episode? What are you thinking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta? If you recall, their ratings are super low this season, and they thought this was going to be a breakout season. Um, so hopefully, I don't think their ratings got any higher this episode because really there wasn't anything like that. It was that great this episode. So I don't know. What do y'all think? What do you think is going to happen to Real Housewives of Atlanta? Do they just need a new cast? Maybe things will change when Phaedra gets there. They are pumping her up. They are like advertising the heck out of Phaedra coming. And I am not actually a big Phaedra fan, so I don't see how Phaedra being there is going to change a lot because Phaedra doesn't really give a lot. I mean, she gives a lot of like these quick shade moments and, says these things, but you really know nothing about Phaedra's life. So I am curious to see how this is going to shape up. But let me know what you thought about this episode and any thoughts about like moments that you thought were amazing and that really made the episode. Okay? All right. Thank you for joining me with Spilling with Lee. I hope this was a great episode. And remember, I'm still new to this. So if there are any things that I could do better, anything you want to hear about that I could review, let me know. I'm going to review The Love Hotel later today. So be sure to visit my channel, come back, subscribe so that you can maybe see if you want to watch that. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep reviewing it, so we'll see. So anyway, be sure to subscribe if you have not. And again, thank you for joining. Talk to you soon.